In this tutorial, I'm going to go over some of the basics of using SketchUp Pro 2020 as a woodworking design software. These basic design concepts will work in any version of SketchUp, even though I'm using SketchUp Pro 2020. First, I'll start up the program. I'll select the template Woodworking Inches. One option to start your design process is to measure the area where you want to put that furniture. For instance, if I'm designing something like a bookcase or a dresser, I'll measure the space in my house where I want to put it, and that will give me my basic dimensions for the furniture. Let's say I'm designing a table, and based on the space that I want it to fill, I want it to be 24 inches wide, 20 inches deep, and 30 inches tall. So first, I'll make an area in SketchUp that is that size. I'll switch to my tape measure tool, click the red axis, and move upward along the blue axis and type in 30, which is the height of my object. Then I can zoom in a little bit. I know I want it to be 24 inches wide, so I'll click the existing guide and move along the green axis and then type 24, enter. To make the back of the object, I'll click the green axis and go upward until I collide with the other guide, which is 30 inches. I can also type in 30 and hit enter. And I want the depth of the table to be 20 inches, so I'll click this back guide and then move along the red axis and type 20 and hit enter. Now I have a basic shape for the top of my table, so I'll switch to the rectangle tool and click on one of these intersections, and then click on the opposite intersection, and I have a tabletop with no thickness. Now it's time to make another design decision about the thickness of the tabletop. This could be based off of the style that you want or based off of your materials available. If you have 1-inch lumber available, make it 1 inch thick or 7/8 of an inch so you can plane it down to your size. I'll make this tabletop 1 inch thick based on the availability of 1 inch thick pieces of plywood. So I'll switch to the select tool, select the fill of my rectangle, and then switch to the push-pull tool. Then I'll click the corner of the tabletop and move it downward and type 1, enter. That'll make the tabletop 1 inch thick. Then I'll triple click on the tabletop, right click, and make it a component and name it tabletop. By making it a component, I won't interfere with it when I draw my other shapes. Now that I have the tabletop modeled, I'll make some legs under it. I'll zoom in, rotate my camera to below the tabletop, and at this point I don't need those guides that I've made, so I can go to Edit, Delete Guides, and keep this file nice and clean. This is an opportunity to make another design decision about your piece of furniture. There are a few ways to determine where you want to put the legs on a table like this. One of them is study the style of the furniture that you're trying to emulate, or measure a piece of furniture that you like and see how far in the legs are set. Another option is just trial and error in SketchUp to see what it looks like. I'll switch to the tape measure tool, click on one of the edges on the bottom, and then bring it inward by 2 inches because I want the legs to be 2 inches thick. Hit 2, enter. And on the adjacent side, I'll do the same thing. I'll click on the side and move inward and type 2, enter. Now I have a little square that I can trace with my rectangle tool. I'll switch to the rectangle tool, click on that intersection, and then click on the corner. Then I can switch to the selection tool, select that square, then I can use the push-pull tool to extrude this leg all the way down to the baseline. So I'll click the corner here, and then move downward. I'm zooming out and moving the camera so that I can see where I'm going. So I'll drag it down, and I want it to snap to this red line right there, which it doesn't seem to be, but if I move my cursor over to the origin, it will snap to that. So I'll click on the origin, and my leg will be all the way down to the baseline. I'll triple click on that leg, right click, make it a component, and call it table leg. For this table leg, I really need to know which sides are on the inside if I add joinery or something later. So I'll edit this component and make 2 of the sides a different color. I'll double click on the component, then I can rotate it, and I'll go to my materials panel, and I'll choose this orange color here and fill in the two inner faces. Then I'll click outside of this bounding box indicated by the dotted line, and that will take me out of the component. I'll zoom out, and now I can start duplicating it. I'll use the select tool to select the leg, and then switch to the move tool, hold down Control, and click the corner. This will duplicate it, and I'll drag it along the red axis. Now what I need to do is rotate this so that the orange face is facing inside the table on all the sides. So what I can do is zoom out to the bottom, which will be the easiest place to rotate from. Select the rotate tool. So I wanted to rotate along this corner. I'll click that corner and then go over here to this other corner and click again. And that will allow me to rotate it like this. It should snap to 90 degrees, but if it doesn't, you can just type in 90, enter. Now that it's rotated properly, I'll zoom out and go back to the move tool, click this corner, and snap it to the corner of the table. Now that I got two legs, I can duplicate both of them together. So I'll switch to the select tool, click one of them, hold shift and click the other one, switch to the move tool, and I can duplicate them by holding Control, clicking a corner, and then moving that along the axis. You'll notice that the orange face on these two legs is not towards the inside, so I need to rotate them by 180 degrees or flip them horizontally, which is the easier thing to do. So I'll go to the Scale tool, and then select this middle square here, click it once, drag it through the object, and type -1. This will mirror it about that axis. Now I can go back to the move tool, click on the corner, and snap it to that corner of the table. So this is a pretty good start. I kind of like the way it looks. Another option is to move the legs inward, so you can select this leg, select that leg, use the move tool, go 1 inch inward, and then I would select this leg and this leg, use the move tool, and go 1 inch this way, hit 1, enter. And I can compare what it looks like with the reveal on the legs or with the leg totally flush against the table. And both of these are strong, it just depends on what style you want your table to have. I think I like the first style with the leg all the way at the edge, so I'll use Control-Z to undo all of the moving. And now they're back to where they started. I like the look of this already, but if you want to make the legs thinner or thicker, now is the time to do it before you make the other pieces. To do that, you can double-click on one of the legs to go inside that component, and then to make them thicker, you can click one of the sides, use the push-pull tool to go, say, 1 inch, go to the other side, select it, use the push-pull tool to go 1 inch that way, and then I'll select outside of the component, and I can see what the table would look like with 3-inch legs, which to me looks too thick, so I'll undo that. So now you have a basic table in the dimensions that will fit the space that you're looking to fill. The next step would be to make some apron pieces, and you could do that like this. I'll zoom in on the table, select my tape measure tool and click the bottom edge, and move downward along the blue axis until I like the look of it. So I can rotate my model around, I can zoom in and zoom out to try to get an idea of what this will look like. I think something about here looks pretty good, which says about 4 and 5/30 seconds. Round that to a better number, so let's say 4 and 4/30 seconds. It would be 4 and 1/8. So I'll type in 4 space 1 divided by 8, enter. And I have a guide at 4 1/8 inches. Then I can use that guide to draw a rectangle. So I'll switch to the rectangle tool and click this intersection, and then the intersection of my guide and the leg. And I've created a flat piece where the apron is going to go. Then I'll rotate my camera around, use the select tool to select the face of that, and then the push-pull tool, I'll click a corner and then move it in as far as I want. While I'm doing this operation, I'm going to rotate the camera around so I can see what it looks like from different angles and see what it'll look like on the table. One consideration for this piece is the type of lumber you have available. 7/8 of an inch is very common because you can buy 4/4 lumber, but you need to plane off a little bit, so you end up with 7/8 of an inch. So I will type in 7 divided by 8, enter. And that is what the apron piece looks like. I'll triple click on that, right click, make component, and call it long apron. Now that it's a component, I'll switch to the move tool, hold down Control, click the corner, and I can put it where the other one is. I've gone too far because it snapped on that corner, but I'll just click the other corner and let that snap there. For the side apron, I'll do the same thing, starting with the tape measure tool and clicking on this intersection here to draw a guide that is perpendicular. And then I can zoom in on that and draw a rectangle. And I'll select the face of the rectangle and push-pull it by 7/8 of an inch. Type in 7 divided by 8 and triple click on that and make it a component. And call that short apron. Then I can use the move tool, hold down Control to duplicate it, and I can snap onto this other corner. Then I'll go up to Edit, Delete Guides, and that will get rid of them because I don't need them anymore. I haven't designed any of the joinery yet, so for this table to work, you would have to use pocket holes, dowels, or dominoes. Check the link in the description to my other video about modeling mortise and tenon joints. Another necessary operation in SketchUp is to mark the dimensions of your furniture so you can make usable woodworking plans. To do that, you'll use the dimension tool. I'll click one point and then any other point, and it'll show me the dimensions of that, and I can flip it to this axis or this axis. Then I'll click to set it where it is. And I can do that for any necessary dimensions in my model. To make more specific dimensions of each part of the model, you'll need to explode them. So I'll go to the select tool, zoom out, click one of the legs, and then switch to the move tool, hold Control, and click that corner, and I'll copy it along this green axis. Then I can zoom in on this piece and make dimensions just for that. You can add as many dimensions as you want to on the model, but I try not to add any that aren't necessary so that the plans are easy to follow. Let's go to the Scenes panel on the right side and hit the plus sign to add scene. I'll call this scene Tabletop. I also want to create a scene for my other spots. So I'll zoom out, go over here, and I'll create another scene and call that Table Leg. And I'll create another scene and I'll call that Whole Table. Those are some of the basics about using SketchUp as a woodworking design software. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to push-pull that like button and subscribe. Bye.